APC, well, you do remember some, we'll talk about it in a moment, but Honorable Bimbo Daramola joins us now. He is the Director General of Kayode Fayemi Campaign Organization. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
It's a matter between that clash where members of the All Progressive Congress and the People's Democratic Party and then the police were involved in. So much is being said out there to the extent that people wonder what exactly transpired. Let's hear from you.
Well, to the best of my knowledge, it's a tradition as a party to reflect the ethos of the party. And in totality, our symbol is to sweep away anything that does not represent. That's the credo. Anything that does not represent what we believe in, we symbolically use the spirit broom to try to sweep that away. And that's been the tradition, really. So when the president came to town on Saturday to present the flag to the flag bearer of the PDP, people were wondering why the president had to show up in town if he had not been there in 3.5 years. And then we were looking forward to an opportunity where the president would be presidential by, at least for once, giving something to Ekiti people in terms of soundbite, in terms of tangible statements, and all of that.
Even though he came for campaign? Absolutely.
It doesn't take away from the fact that he's the president. So the president was on the stage and the podium. Of course, in tow was the vice president. And for 45 minutes, what we saw was prancing around and all of that. Not one word said to identify with the people. Nothing. In spite of our challenges as a people. No, please, let me
just before you land, because you did say that there was not a sound bite. I did hear it will be one man, one vote.
How does that impact? Everybody already knows that. That's the irreducible minimum. I'm expecting that, okay, fine, now that I'm coming to raise or present the flag to a candidate of my party, our party will do X, Y, Z. That's what is expected. This is why I feel that the candidate I'm presenting to you is better than the incumbent.
But that is what I mean. So that is a presidential statement.
Absolutely.
The guarantee of free and fair playing field for all candidates, in spite of what political affiliation they have. Isn't that something substantial?
It's a sine qua non that elections should be free and fair.
Well, guess what? In Edo State, they actually played that up. That even the president did say in the state that it was going to be one man, one vote. And they held him to his promise.
It's even a sad spectacle that anybody would have to remind us that it should be one man, one vote. It's like trying to have omelette without breaking eggs.
But isn't that the reality of our time?
But I am saying that in tangible terms, what was at stake on Saturday or right now would have been, I have come to present a candidate who obviously is better than the incumbent. My party is better than your party. But these are the things I have.
Is that why there was a clash?
No, I'm telling you the whole story.
Okay.
And then Ekiti people didn't get anything like that. And then symbolically, as it is our tradition, we decided to sweep away all what Saturday represented because it does not portend any good for us. And then our people were of course, it started from Ukeyimi and then had harmless people in the crowd, their brooms and all of that, and then symbolically sweeping that away. And of course, the rally, it was local activation. When that finished, they were about turning around to disperse. And then the PDP guys came for it. But that's not even the point. That's not the point. The most instructive part of the story was the role of the Nigerian police. Okay.
What did they do?
I left a footage when I showed up here yesterday, and I thought we're going to roll that tape if it's possible. In graphic terms, they started shooting tear gas. They tear gassed all of them out of the place, and then harmless people, innocent people, nobody was wielding any dangerous weapon. And it got very riotous. And then the governor had to, of course, as the chief security in quotes, officer of the state, had to show up to not a partisan inclination now, but to say what's going on there. Because if there's a breakdown of law and order, I'm going to be the first person that everybody, I'm going to carry the can.
Okay.
So he showed up at that forum, and then he got tear gassed.
Okay, before we get to that point, we would like to understand, is it true, because we read up that the police says the group, were embarking on an, excuse me, unauthorized procession. Did they get the permission, or did they notify the authorities before that procession?
If you saw the footage that I brought, okay, you will find policemen there in blue and black. They were there. And then, what is this notification?
No, that doesn't mean they got a notification.
You don't need one.
No. Let's get
Not permission, notification.
Because,
of course.
Because if they did
what
get
were
that,
they doing there?
If they did get
let me quickly, okay.
Because we have to establish if they got it. If they didn't get it, the next question would be, at what point did the governor come there? Was it after the tear gas had been fired that he appeared there? Because the report has it that they had already tear gassed the crowd to disperse them. That was when the governor of the state appeared at that scene. And of course, you can't control what is being driven by air, can you?
That's not the point.
But you've heard that.
I'm telling you the story. What happened was that it was a peaceful activation. It wasn't a rally. That wasn't a rally. If you compare the context and the content of what you saw on Saturday and our rallies, you will know. These guys symbolically had an activation, which is our tradition as a party. And then on conclusion of that, they turned around to leave, and then the police came and then shot at them, tear gassed them.
No, but wait, it doesn't just, I'm trying to understand.
Yeah.
If they finished,
okay,
turned around to leave,
let me
peacefully, why would they be shot at?
That's the question. That's the question. Ask people. I was on TVC with the public relations officer of the Ekiti State Command, and the question was posed just like you're asking me now, and nobody could raise any tangible defense for that action. And in any case, after that activity, there must be something that would have necessitated the governor's appearance at that scene to ensure that the law and order was protected and that everybody was kept safe.
No, but did he have to physically be there,
Absolutely,
knowing that
absolutely.
it was a chaotic situation? And if political parties are involved in this, if you show up there, isn't it going to further aggravate the entire situation?
Now, the governor is under obligation. Don't forget that the only candidate who is running at this election wearing two caps is Dr. John Kayode. Yes, he shouldn't be seen to abdicate. Indeed, that is aspiring to run for the position of governor for the second time is secondary to the fact that he has a constitutional responsibility as a sitting governor.
You know,
and he must discharge that to the letter up until the day that the Constitution recognizes that he's done his fourth time.
It's very difficult to know when the governor is wearing which cap, you know, because, I mean, whether or not you like it, the APC was the one doing this rally, and he ran on the platform of the APC. He's recontesting on the platform of the APC, because at that point you don't know what cap he's wearing. One would wonder if it was the PDP or, say, the Labour Party, would he also show up at this protest to find out what exactly was going on to the citizens, you know? That is a very, very tenable question.
No.
Do you think that he would have?
It's not tenable. You see, the fact that, Dr. Fahimi, you need to also check over the past 3 years. Has there been any violence in the past 3 years? Any really rancorous situation like this where we had to lose life? And my heart goes out to the family of the Akinlas, and of course the governor has gone to commiserate with them. But the truth of the matter is that everything this governor has done in the past 3.5 years, they have the coat of partisanship on it.
There have been
everything.
There have been incidences
Yes.
where a rally has been held,
Yes.
and the people who were at that rally were tear gassed in Ekiti State. It was the rally of, you know, a rival candidate in the Labour Party, and we saw people scampering over fences to get away from police tear gas. The governor did not show up at that event.
You see, I told you that the governor was not there initially. You didn't allow me to conclude the story. Okay, they had finished, and then they had gotten. Oh, okay, that's the tape. Look at that, and you can spot the policeman at the corner at some point. You know, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah,
Would you call this a rally?
Would
you call this a rally?
Well,
This is not a rally. This is a local activation.
Well, it's a rally.
It's not a rally.
What's the definition of a rally? It's a rally. And of course, we must also have a police.
Can you see that?
A professional policeman seeing a crowd like this,
Yes.
whether invited or not, must be there
Yes.
to keep peace.
Yes.
So we must also commend the policemen
Yes.
who were there.
Okay, and then what led to that? Did you see the tear gas?
No,
How do you
that's not a
reconcile-
continuation.
how do you
That's not a
reconcile-
continuation of that particular
It's the same.
visual. The
It
visual
is.
we saw,
Yeah.
there's a jump into this.
Yes.
So what happened before the police
It was
fired the tear gas?
There was an attack, and then
You see, now this picture, this
look at
video
it, look at it.
that we're showing didn't capture the attack.